Hello! Today I want to share a story that might feel really familiar to some of you. It's the story about a lady, I'm going to call her Karen. She's a soulful, spiritual woman who has spent years feeling stuck. She worries constantly about money, she's unhappy in her job, and she even finds herself off work with stress. She feels like she's at a fork in the road, unsure of which way to turn, and all the while she carries the weight of worry for those she loves, like her daughter. And I won't give names, who hasn't been very well. And Karen has always considered herself spiritual, but she hasn't fully embraced that side of herself yet. And because of that, she struggles to see her way forward clearly. Thoughts feel muddled, her mind is often fuzzy, and she questions herself constantly. Am I making the right choices? Should I be doing this or that? And this self-doubt keeps her feeling frozen, unable to move forward to clarity or to peace. And if you could see her life wheel, the areas of her life mapped out, you'd notice something striking. Karen scores high in finances, health, family and work, but two areas are lagging far behind: her personal growth and her relationships. And this imbalance leaves her feeling unfulfilled, like she's holding herself back from the life she truly desires. And this is the reality for so many of us. Outwardly, things might look okay, but inwardly, there's a restlessness, a dissatisfaction that refuses to quiet down. Karen's journey shows us just how layered life can be, like peeling an onion. Healing isn't something that happens in a single step, it's a process. And often the outer layer that we see, the stress, the fatigue, the dissatisfaction, is just the beginning. Beneath that, there are patterns, blocks, and old programs running silently, influencing her every decision, every belief about herself, every relationship. She's also carrying burdens from generations before her, inherited beliefs and subconscious programs from her parents and even her grandparents. And these aren't her fault. They're part of what she was given. But they affect how she feels, what she fears, and how she shows up in the world. And in her past lives, Karen was considered important and unique. She carried ambition, creativity, and power, but fear of abandonment often kept her from embracing her full potential. Relationships were a source of both joy and pain. She gave more than she received, tolerated situations she shouldn't have, and lost sight of her spiritual growth along the way. And even in this life, those same patterns tried to sneak back in. Old vows, old programs, old fears, keeping her from trusting herself fully and loving freely. And yet, Karen's story isn't one of despair. It's a story of hope, because even with all these layers, even with all these blocks, transformation is possible. When the outer layers are gently lifted, when the burdens are acknowledged and the patterns seen, she begins to find herself again. She can start noticing the small ways she stops sacrificing herself unnecessarily. She can allow herself to enjoy life again, going to bed on time, having breakfast in peace, saying no when she needs to, and reconnecting with the things that bring her joy and play. Most importantly, Karen begins the slow, steady process of learning to trust herself, to forgive herself for the past, to know that mistakes aren't failures, they're lessons. To understand that her heart, her intuition, and her inner voice are the clearest guide she will ever have. If any of this feels familiar to you, if you feel stuck, unsure, worried, or invisible in your own life, know that Karen's journey is also your mirror. There is a path forward, even if it feels unclear right now. And the first step isn't a how-to, a strategy, or a solution. It's simply noticing, acknowledging, and feeling your way into your own truth. Because once you start seeing your life clearly, once you allow yourself the gentleness and patience to peel back the layers, the path to clarity, joy, and authentic love begins to appear. Take a moment today to check in with yourself. Where in your life do you feel stuck? Where do you feel you're giving too much or not trusting yourself enough? Sometimes simply asking the question opens a doorway that's been closed for far too long. And remember, the journey isn't about rushing to the end. It's about reclaiming yourself step by step, layer by layer, until you can finally stand in the fullness of who you truly are. Thank you for allowing me to share Karen's story. If it resonates with you, take a deep breath and just sit with the truth that change is possible, even if it doesn't feel visible yet. Until next time, stay gentle with yourself and honour your journey.